Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk to you about this tool right here. I think it's a very good tool, but I don't think it's for everybody, so let's talk about it. Alright everybody, what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about what the tool is first. This is the Ryobi P553 miter saw. And let me tell you a little bit about what it is. It is a miter saw. It's a compound miter saw. It will make cuts in both directions as a miter at actually 47 degrees. So it actually goes a couple degrees past 45 degrees. Plus it will go to the right 45 degrees for a bevel. So you can do bevel and miter at the same time, a compound cut. It's battery operated, which I was a little leery of, but I've come to think is a very good thing. It is part of Ryobi's 18-volt ONE Plus system. So if you own any Ryobi tool, a drill, a string trimmer, a vacuum, anything, you already have the battery and the charger to run this tool. This tool does sell tool only, so it doesn't come with the battery and charger. So you would need to own a Ryobi tool to get into the lineup or buy the battery and charger, which does make it a little bit more expensive. But cost, I'm happy to say, is fairly inexpensive for this tool. It listed up until last week $129.99. I think it's going up to $149.99. That's what I see on the website. But right now, today is October 25th, 2021. It's on sale for $99.99 on the website. So I think this is part of the beginnings of Black Friday here at Home Depot. So that's a very good price. I purchased this from a company called Direct Tools Factory Outlet. This is actually reconditioned, the one I got. Right now you can get the reconditioned model for $82.49, which is a damn good price for this tool. Now with Home Depot selling them for $99, you probably want to buy it new at Home Depot. But if you're watching this in the future or the sale is over at your store or your store is not doing the sale, the difference between $149.99 and $82.49 is pretty darn significant. So go check Direct Tools Factory Outlet out. Hey guys, it's a couple of days later, and during my editing I went to get the links for you to Direct Tools Factory Outlet, and I found that they have some updates on the prices. So the prices I just told you in the previous video, they've changed a little bit for the sales that are going on now. I guess everybody's starting their Black Friday. Currently, Direct Tools Factory Outlet has this saw as factory blemished. So not reconditioned, I guess it's got a scratch or something, for the $99.99, which is the price that the Home Depot has it. So if you don't care about a scratch, you might want to get it there. But the reconditioned model, this is the big one, $69.99 for the reconditioned saw. So again, check the links at Direct Tools Factory Outlet, and if you're interested, go check it out that way. So now let's get back to where I start explaining a little more about that company. If you don't know who they are TTI's factory outlet. TTI is the parent company that makes Ryobi here in the United States. They make Rigid, they make Milwaukee, they make Hart, they make a bunch of vacuums. So they put a lot of their factory reconditioned stuff on this website. Currently, I only really see Rigid and Ryobi out there, and some vacuums. I don't see Milwaukee, I don't see Hart. I guess every company has a little bit different way of getting rid of things. I don't know. Couple of ways you can do that with this company. Obviously, you can get some reconditioned tools and get some good deals if you're into reconditioned tools. I know everybody isn't. The other neat thing is my Home Depot is not the biggest Home Depot out there. And they don't nearly even come close to stocking all 225 plus Ryobi 18-volt tools. Perfect example. Ryobi came out with this little guy, this little fan last year, and I really wanted one. And quite frankly, they never stocked it in my store. It showed up at Direct Tools Factory Outlet. I got it for less than the $19.99 the website was advertising. I got it for 16 bucks at their website. So you can not only get refurbished stuff there, you can get overstock stuff that's new. Another way to find your Ryobi tools if you're in the Ryobi line, go ahead and check them out. I'll put the link below. Now, a little bit more about the saw. We talked about its affordability and the fact that it is on Ryobi's battery system. It's very small. It's very portable. You can pick this thing up, carry it around with you, put it on a shelf when you're done, bring it back and start using it. It's very portable and compact, which is something I really like about it. The size to me is a definite bonus for me, but it can be a negative. The reason it's so small mostly is it runs 7¼ inch blades, so it's not a 10-inch saw. And what does that do? That gives you a 4¼ inch depth of cut if you're at 90 degrees. At 45 degrees, I believe it goes down to 3 inches. If you put a bevel on there, it's even less than 3 inches. So what is this saw for? It's for trim type work, homeowner type, craft type work. It's really not a construction grade saw. It's too small. If you're looking to start a business building sheds or decks, you need a 10 or a 12-inch sliding saw. You don't want this little saw. So that's why I say this saw is not for everybody. It's really built for homeowners. First time homeowner, you buy a new home, you got to do a lot of trim work, you want to recondition the house. It's a great saw for you because you can just pick this thing up, take it to the next room, put it on a little work table like this, make your cuts, move to the next room. Battery runs dead, you charge it at night, life is good. The website says this will get 900 cuts on the 4 amp-hour HP battery. I don't have a 4 amp-hour HP battery, but this is the regular 4 amp-hour battery. And as you can see, it's still on 4 bars. I've been using this saw for over a week. You get a lot of cuts out of a battery. Since this is a use case for homeowners, crafts type people, they're not making 900 cuts. You know what you do. You're not going to do 900 cuts in a day. So run the saw, charge the battery every couple of days. This thing will last you, do the whole trim in your whole house. Another good use case, it will cut 2x4s. You can see I've made some cuts here on 2x4s. I'll swing it around. It does have good locking detents at 0 or 90, whatever you want to call that, 45 degrees and a couple other common numbers in between. I'm now at 90. Makes a good clean cut. I'm going to tell you, I have changed the blade. The saw does come with a 24 tooth, they call it general purpose blade. I'm going to be honest, it's not the worst blade in the world. It cuts 2x4s fine. If your use case was 2x4s for shelving units and stuff in your garage, don't even replace the blade. This blade is fine for cutting 2x4s. It actually cuts 2x4s a little bit better than the blade I have on here now. What I have on here now is a 40-tooth crosscut blade by Hercules out of Harbor Freight. It's a $15 blade. It's the best blade I've put on this tool. I've also tried this 40-tooth combination blade from Harbor Freight as well. It's a Bauer, almost as good as this one. If you don't have a Harbor Freight around, Diablo, Irwin both make inexpensive 7¼ inch saws in 40-tooth combination at your big box store of choice, whatever you have in your area. They'll work well on this saw too. I just happen to have a Harbor Freight, so I went that route. Either one will work. The Diablos and the Irwins are also fine. You're going to be able to run inexpensive blades because they're 7¼ Remember, 7¼ is a very common size. That's, you know, our circular saw size. So blades are cheap. The saw is cheap. It will cut a 2x4 quite nicely. Is it accurate? Great question. Out of the box, guys? No, it's not. Mine wasn't bad, to be honest with you. Now, mine was reconditioned, so I don't know if somebody putzed with it at the factory before they sent it back to me. But, as you can see, I've been cutting 45s. The use case for me for this, by the way, is picture frames. And you know, picture frames have to be accurate. You gotta, you know, this 45, I just cut this one. As you can see, that's accurate. It's making a nice 45. Let me cut another one here. You're only going to be accurate if you don't have any dust in there. Again, I'm getting very accurate cuts. Very accurate out of this saw. I had to set it up. Now, the setup took me about 15 minutes. It involves squaring the fence, which is adjustable with Allen keys. You get an Allen key wrench with it. right here. Honestly, this isn't the greatest. Some of these were pretty darn tight and I had to use a different Allen key to get it out, but I figure most of us have Allen keys around the shop, so we'll be able to do that. You need to square the blade to the fence, and then you need to square the blade to the table with the bevel. And those two functions are well marked out in the manual, so it's not that hard to do. A couple of squares, you'll be fine. It took me about 15 minutes. I'm now able to get good 45s and good 90s with this saw. So, do I recommend this saw, guys? Here's the deal. Actually, before I do that, let me talk a little bit about dust collection. I don't know if you can see it here, but there is quite a bit of crumbs on this table. It does have a dust sock here. And as you can see, there is stuff in here, so some chips do go in. But the better news is it's a 1 1/4 inch port here. So if you have a vacuum, you can plug it into this and it will do much better. I use this in 2 different ways. If I'm only going to take it off the shelf, make 1 or 2 cuts, I don't even put this on. It's easier for me to store this like this, where I can just put it up against the shelf, up against the wall on a shelf. If I'm going to make 1 cut, I'm going to have a mess here anyway, so I just make the cut without the bag and I clean it up. If I'm going to make a lot of cuts, I plug my vacuum into it. Now, if you have a standard shop vac, you're going to get an adapter for the 1 1/4, but it's an easy size to get, so you're good there. I personally probably will never use this because it's easier to put on this shelf without it. And 1 or 2 cuts, I still got to clean up, no big deal. Vacuum if you're going to use a lot. Your mileage will vary. You might use this all the time. It is very easy to just put back on. Not a big deal at all. So that's dust collected. So who do I think this is for? Well, this is for homeowners. This is for first-time home buyers, craftspeople that do little crafts work at home, maybe go to a crafts fair once or twice a year. You're making small things. Like I said, I'm going to make picture frames with it. Here's a perfect example of a piece of oak that will probably end up in a picture frame. It's not a construction site saw. It's not a saw to be put into the ultimate miter saw workstation. It's too small. It's a saw to be put on a shelf in the garage, pulled out when you want to use it, put the battery in it, fire it up. You don't need an extension cord. You don't need to find an outlet. Put a battery in, use it, put it back on the shelf. That's who it's for. If you're building decks, you're building sheds, you need a bigger saw. Any bigger construction than that, obviously this isn't the saw for you. So that's who it's for. That's why I say I don't think it's for everybody. But if your use case is this smaller stuff, I think it's a good saw for you. And I highly recommend you giving it a try. And if you think that's for you guys, go ahead and hit the like button. Also, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And then run over to Home Depot and get it. Because right now it's $99.99. I have no idea how long that's going to last. If it's $149, consider Direct Tools Factory Outlet. That's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.